This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather Ho, there's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe on this day. And on this day, April 28th, 2018, the Seattle Seahawks made history by drafting this guy, Shaquem Griffin. You obviously know by the picture that he's a little bit different. He's a one-armed player, which is rare in football and all that. However, I'll talk about him a little bit later. But first, let's talk about the 2018 NFL Draft as a whole. 5 quarterbacks were picked in the first round, tying the 99 and the most current one, 2021 drafts, but the most first-round quarterback selections behind the famous 6 in 1983, which I alluded to last year when I talked about John Elway. So Dallas got to host the draft at a stadium, which was unusual and all that. In the first round, Cleveland took Baker Mayfield first from Oklahoma, who was the Heisman Trophy winner. Cleveland needed a quarterback, and Baker Mayfield has done well for Cleveland, but he went out after all the money Cleveland gave Deshaun Watson, despite the fact that Deshaun Watson has some off-field stuff happening. The Giants went second and took Saquon Barkley, running back from Penn State, who actually was good for the Giants. When he was healthy, the Giants could rely on him. The Jets would take Sam Darnold, third overall. The Colts traded the third round, the number 3 pick to the Jets for the number 6 pick. So the Jets moved up to get Sam Darnold, and it hasn't really worked out. Indy took Quentin Nelson from Notre Dame as offensive guard. The third quarterback drafted after Mayfield and Darnold was Buffalo, taking Josh Allen in a pick they got from Tampa. So the 7th overall pick, Josh Allen went to Wyoming. And I'm thinking to myself, Buffalo's wasting a pick on this guy. Well, Mr. Diamond, you were wrong. And it's not sour grapes because, as a Patriots fan, you hate division rivals. But Josh Allen was just that damn good. And he is damn good. I mean, he obliterated the Patriots in the playoffs last year. So I got to give him credit. Credit's due. Arizona was the 4th team to take a quarterback in the first round. With a pick they took up from Oakland, when they were still Oakland, they took Josh Rosen from UCLA. I really didn't think that was a good move because Josh Rosen, had that one good game in which he got LA to come back against Texas A&M with that Dan Marino-like comeback in the 4th quarter. Remember the fake spike Rosen did and Gus Johnson losing it on the Fox broadcasts? That's huge. So Josh Rosen went to Arizona. But the worst part is Arizona decided to dump Rosen off to Miami just to get Kyler Murray. So that didn't last too long. So the 5 quarterbacks. So that was 4 quarterbacks. Baltimore had the last pick in the first round. Philly traded the pick to Baltimore. So Baltimore took Lamar freaking Jackson, quarterback from Louisville. And everyone thought, well, this might be. Baltimore was known for just having one decent quarterback in their history, Joe Flacco. Trent Dilfer, my ass. But anyway, yeah, Baltimore took Lamar Jackson, and he took off like a shot. Also to note, with the 31st pick, the Pats took Sonny Michel from Georgia, running back. Maybe that's not special. Why are you saying that? You're a Patriots fan. Well, it was the fact that I watched Sonny Michel go off and helping Georgia beat Oklahoma in the 2018 Rose Bowl. I watch the Rose Bowl every year. And I said on Facebook, watch out, this guy is special. I told my buddy Bill Lang this. I said, Sonny Michel will help us out. And he was for a few years before he traded to the Rams. Fuck off. So anyway, that happened. So yeah, the other drafts went things. And then Seattle with the 141st pick of the draft. And in the 5th round, Seattle took this linebacker from UCF, the guy you see there, Shaquem Griffin, who only had one arm. When he was 4 years old, he had to have his left arm amputated. His left hand amputated. He still has an arm, but he doesn't have fingers or a hand. His brother, Shaquille Griffin, was already there with Seattle. Well, Shaquem had amniotic band syndrome, which meant his fingers on his left hand could not develop. The pain was so intense that at 4 years old, he actually grabbed a butcher knife trying to cut the hand off. But his mother took the knife away and said, we'll schedule an amputation. Still, Griffin could play sports without his left hand, competing in track, baseball, and football alongside his brother. Shaquem and Shaquille actually were offered scholarships with UCF, the University of Central Florida, the school out of Orlando. And he put up 17 sacks and 30 tackles for a loss. It was amazing and all that for Shaquem. Shaquille was drafted in the 3rd round of the 2017 NFL draft, but Shaquem decided to stay on at UCF. So he could perform reps in the bench press wearing prosthesis. He was actually invited to the NFL draft, which was weird because he was one-handed. Well, Seattle drafted him in the 5th round and signed a 4-year deal. And, you know, he played for the Seahawks from 2018 to 2020. So he did okay. But then the Seahawks released him. Miami gave him a 1-year deal, but he couldn't last that season. I don't know what Shaquem is doing now. But maybe he'll come back to the NFL. Maybe he won't. Only time will tell. Anyway, this was huge for a one-armed player. I mean, Jim Abbott was the most famous one-armed player in baseball. So Shaquem Griffin is trying to help football players who have one arm, saying that you can make one without a hand. You can play a sport like football, and that's how it works. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.